Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from PM Squared Consulting. This is a detailed walkthrough of our award-winning 5-day real-time strategy dashboard workshop. This is a detailed overview of how we can deliver real-time strategy through a series of dashboards in a 5-day process. The outcome of this work will be a series of dashboards that align your ongoing activities up to strategic objectives and priorities. The 5 days don't necessarily need to be run concurrently, but we found it's more productive if you can do so. In day one, we're going to take the senior leadership team for about half the day to create a strategy map. This identifies the organization's key strategic objectives and their priorities. In the afternoon, we'll use the leadership team to take those strategic objectives and score strategic themes. And we categorize those in two broad groups. What we call contemporary strategic themes. These are themes that we have found are emerging in the last 2 or 3 years. Organizations are looking for things like agility, employee experience, the organizational resilience, risk or vulnerability, traction, velocity, viability, and vitality. And each of these are scored for the impact of this theme on achieving these strategic goals. And the darker the square, the higher the impact. We can do the same thing with traditional strategic themes, which are things like cost, operational excellence, revenue, and so forth. And the idea is you can identify what are the core strategic themes for your organization. So in this sample database, we can see the core themes for this organization are agility, velocity, through operational excellence. And this allows us to begin aligning our activities, which is the activity that we do on day 2. On day 2, we take process experts and we have them score against the same strategic objectives and priorities, the core activities they do day in, day out, the processes. And again, we can identify the critical performance nodes, which are where, in this instance, we need to identify what are the key results that we need to add into the dashboards. Later on, this can be used for other things like organization design and so forth. Now, the activities, the processes you do are half of how human capital is consumed. The other half is through initiatives or projects. And so we can do the same thing. We can take a look at your strategic projects and score their impact against the strategy, and again identify where are the performance nodes that we need to identify, KPIs. Day 3, we'll use a data team to harvest from the work we did. Remember, the afternoon of day 1 on the strategic themes, the processes and projects, and bounce that against our database of best practice key indicators. And within that, we can then identify for your industry, your function, and available data, what KPIs give you the best signal strength. So by the end of the first 3 days, we should be able to begin building these strategic dashboards. Now, the dashboards are going to fit into templates that we've built after a fair amount of experience. So in this case, you can see that we've got the strategic theme, the trend, and key results. These themes, again, identified from days 1 and 2. In this case, we're looking at traditional themes of profitability, revenue, and new age things of traction, velocity, agility, and vitality. And within these, we can see the trend, and these little red dots indicate the periods where we're experiencing a less than 75% profit margin. And then key results. The key results are a combination of what are the key results that are the drill downs from these elements and how are we performing overall. Obviously, there are more detailed dashboards available, such as a sales dashboard, a project management dashboard. In this case, we're looking at DevOps, where we can see activities between the stages, time spent in stages, and so forth, or other diagrams which allow us to take a look at how products are doing against our strategic frameworks. And then day 5, turn it on. Through a series of meetings with senior leadership and operational leadership, we determine what's the governance process we want to use and figure out how to use those dashboards we've built on a daily, monthly, and quarterly basis to keep the organization up to speed. If we take a look at roughly the timelines required, typically in day one, we need the leadership team for about 3 hours and the executive team for about 3 hours. Now, across this whole process, no one team spends more than a day on the project, or no one individual. So although it's 5 elapsed days, the leadership team in total spends maybe 5 hours, the executive team maybe 3 hours. We then, on day 2, use a process team in the morning for that process analysis and a project team in the afternoon for the project analysis. Day 3 is done by different teams based on different organizations. It's either a process team or a data team. And then building it out is largely our team with some help from your team as they harvest the data. And then day 5 is launching it, where we spend 2 hours with each of the teams and get their review and approval and agreement on how the tool's used. So hopefully that's been a useful overview for you. Next steps, if you want to learn more, just head on over to our website. To book a call with me to talk about your strategic dashboard needs, feel free to do so. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now.